Are the Detroit Lions back? We're going to find out in just a second. Welcome into Ram Fantasy Update. My name is Tom Vandervoort, sitting with one of the geniuses from Sporting News Fantasy Source, Matt Lutovsky. How does it feel to be a genius,
I don't know if I can live up to that. We started high, and now it's nowhere to go but down, so we'll try.
The Detroit Lions didn't start so great this year, but they seem to have found their groove. First of all, have they found their groove? Are they a reliable option?
It certainly looks that way. You know, anytime a team has a good game against a good defense, which they did against Seattle, it's a very good sign. Matthew Stafford really commanded the offense. He made all the throws. He got everyone involved. I believe there are 7 different receivers who had at least 3 catches. A very good sign. People are a little worried about Calvin Johnson not having a big game. He dropped a touchdown, though, he should have had. He'll be just fine going forward.
Okay, now, as we watch that team break out, fans are still waiting for Cam Newton in Carolina and Michael Vick in Philadelphia. What's the prognosis there?
Well, it looks good for both, but this is a big week right now because they both have good matchups. The Eagles are playing the Saints. The Panthers are playing the Redskins. Both of those teams are in the bottom 4 in total defense. So this is one of those kind of those benchmark weeks. If they don't break out now, that's a real bad sign going forward. But there's a lot of talent on both these teams. There's some question marks about trading DeAngelo Williams, trading Steve Smith. Is Michael Vick going to get benched? But if they just stick with what they have, I really think that they can be fine going forward. But again, really watch them this week.
Now, there are a number of offenses that haven't really had problems, high-powered offenses with a lot of weapons. And what you were telling me earlier was that can kind of be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, fantasy owners don't know what to do a lot of times. We've seen it with the Falcons. Julio Jones and Roddy White still haven't had a big game. In the same game, we've seen it with the Patriots, with Brandon Lloyd and Wes Welker, kind of the same thing. And a lot of times with these teams, someone gets forgotten, be it the running back, be it the tight end.
Right.
So, like you say, it's a double-edged sword. You want these offenses to take off. You want them to put up yards and points, and you're just going to play the odds most weeks.
Right.
But you don't always know what you're going to get, which can make things a little confusing for fantasy owners.
So if you have the quarterback on those teams, you're probably pretty okay.
That's the big one. You want the quarterback, and then you want to really look at targets. You want to look at carries. You want to see how guys are used, and the guys getting the most looks are obviously the better options.
Okay, now finally, we always got to get from you a sleeper of the week. Do you have a sleeper or 2 this week based on
I'll give you 2 sleepers this week, both wide receivers, kind of for different reasons. One is for usage. Andre Roberts on the Cardinals. It's a pretty good match against the Packers, but he's been averaging 9 targets a game over the past 5 games. He should have a good game. And then we'll go strictly matchup. Darrius Heyward-Bey for the Raiders. The Bucs, 2nd worst passing defense, 3rd most fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. He should have a good game along with Denarius Moore.
All right, we'll see what happens this Sunday. For Matt Lutovsky and Ram Fantasy Update, I'm Tom Vandervoort. We'll see you next time.